So the other story that I want to tell is real quickly. You guys have seen some footage of this probably, of me performing at Paranoia Park in Portland, Oregon. And Paranoia Park is this famous park where a lot of street kids and street people, homeless, and probably people on drugs and people with, you know, some sort of kind of mental psychological issues, where they hang out, kind of like the outcasts and the people who are rejected and disenfranchised. They hang out at this park, like the street people hang out at this park, right? And it's right in the middle of downtown, but most like normal people who like live in a house and whatever don't really hang out at this park. Like there's definitely a specific population that hangs out here. And so my friend Brian Peterson, well, the Petersons that I was hanging out with, my friend Brian told me about this place, and he was like, well, it might be a place. And I don't know, he wasn't so keen on it, but I was like, well, that's who this is for. Like, that's my audience. I have to go. You know, I think Gus Van Sant made a movie that was kind of inspired by the feeling of this park and the people of this park. So anyway, I went, and sure enough, it was like, it wasn't very wild, but you know, there was a guy drumming up at the top, and there was lots of folks. I think there was a barbecue or something happening that day, lots of people hanging out, and I think most of them were like street people or associated with street people, or, you know what I mean, like, you know, not the most genteel bunch. And so I went up, and I tried to negotiate like a space, and I finally got one, and I just started, and I got through and people were heckling me and like laughing at me and not sure what I was doing and ignoring me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing my whole bit, One Man Street Shakespeare, about to happen, and you know, people are not really getting into it and buying it. I get like maybe 4 people, including Brian, my friend Brian, who was there, who were like sat down where I asked him to sit and to check out the show. Most people were kind of didn't want to commit to it, didn't know what I was doing, thought maybe I might be stupid, felt more comfortable being off the side, or maybe even more like just would rather heckle me or you know, try to discourage me or whatever. So I started performing. I got through, I'm working real hard. I get through one scene, which I don't remember what the scene was. Maybe it was Romeo and Juliet. I don't remember, or maybe it was Macbeth. I don't know. I did some scene, and you know, I think it worked out okay. And then I started, so then I was like, alright, I'll do another scene. So I started to do a 12th night scene, and I got through maybe the first couple of lines of the scene, and this dude up top, this like Native American dude, started shouting real loud, like, about how the black man came to this country and stole his land. How the black man came to this country and stole his land. And, you know, it was just making it was real loud. As loud, or not, if not louder than I was. And definitely, you know, the park's not that big. I wasn't able to compete with him. So and then the other people who are watching are like starting to turn around and yell at this guy, like, shut up, you should be ashamed of yourself, you shut up and let him finish, blah blah. So it's like I'm getting ready to incite a riot here. And so I walk up to the Native American guy. I'm trying to tell him, hey dude, like, you got something to say, I got something to say, let me do my bit, or you can do your bit, whatever, like, and let's take turns and share this space. And he's pretending I'm not even there, which kind of pisses me off. He's not even looking at me, blah blah, but he's still shouting his thing, like looking straight ahead, and people are still yelling at him. And I want to, like, at least try to, you know, take his hand to get his attention, but I feel like if I touch him, he's gonna attack. He's a big Native American dude. And finally I give up, and I walk back down in the space, and I'm trying to wait him out. And eventually I think he appears to kind of you know, just kind of submit and relent, and under, you know, all the people yelling back at him, and walk away. So I'm like, alright, okay, I'll do the scene. You know, now more and more people are interested. From the first scene, people are like, oh, okay, maybe I want to watch. So there's more people interested now than my first 4, you know, group of 4 people that I had. So the guy walks away, and I'm getting ready to start back up. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this. And he comes back, and he walks away, and then walks back with a drum, with a huge drum under his arm, and he's getting ready to beat this drum. So I'm like, this is over. There's no way I'm going to be able to compete against that guy's voice and a huge drum. And meanwhile, like, people who had been laughing at me and heckling me and ignoring me at the beginning are now like, oh man, come on, dude, I wanted to see another one. Like, can you please just stay? And I'm like, hey man, I can't. You know, I can't compete with this guy. Like, my voice is gonna give out. The scene's not gonna be enjoyable. I'm gonna be tense. I'm sorry, dude. I gotta go somewhere else. I gotta try to see if there's greener pastures. So, yeah, that guy defeated me. But I get to do at least one scene in Paranoia Park, and it was good. So yeah, that's the story that I wanted to tell. That's story number 4, and stories from the hole. Speare out.